Hi folks, welcome to my Bit Retro Journal. I'm playing around with my QL. I'm actually doing some coding. It's a rainy summer day, and this brings back nostalgia because when back in the 90s, I was doing that a lot on my QL. When I got it, I got a C compiler right away with it, and I was able to write some programs that I really needed, like a terminal program, which I've shown on this channel before, because I needed to be able to connect to work computer. And so, really during the summer, love to just sit and program on the QL. I like, using limited resources that the QL offers, and because you have to really write some efficient code to get it to work the way you want. And so, that's actually a lot of fun. And so, anyway, this is my 5-year anniversary video, and what I'm going to talk about today is I don't really have anything specific to show. I'm just going to give you sort of an update on my channel and what I'm planning to do. So if that's not your cup of tea, because I'm really just going to be talking, you might want to, quit the video and come back for my next one and enjoy, if you're in our part of the hemisphere, enjoy hopefully a nicer summer day than we have here in the Northeast with rain. But yeah, so just to give you a little bit of background, 5 years now. I started the channel July 10th, 2020, and it was about 4 months into the pandemic, and I was kind of going stir crazy. Although I think the thing I did before the channel is I ended up taking this some software I had on the QL that I'd written back in the 90s, and I converted it into the ZX81 ROM emulator called ZX Simulator. And then I ended up creating a video for that to show to folks. And that's how my channel started. That was the first video that I had. And then I really got into, just doing a weekly video. And the early videos were really full featured. I think they were always like 30 to 40 minutes. For whatever reason, I thought that was the right length. The audio was really bad. I used the microphone built into my iPhone, and the acoustics in this room isn't great, and so lots of echoey stuff. And then when I did screen recordings, I think I used Zoom, and its microphone pickup was very tinny, and so it sounded awful. It still sounds awful when I listen to it nowadays, and there's really no way to clean that up easily. And so, but the content was fun. In fact, I think my first fourth and fifth video are still in the top 10 today, and get over 4,000 views each when I compared the Amiga to the QL and the Macintosh. And the Amiga QL kernel comparison got lots of talk because my Amiga viewers are very passionate about the Amiga, and they didn't think it was a fair comparison. But that was one of the first successful videos. And also, I think one of my first DOSembers, I ran MS-DOS on this, and people were like, the QL can run MS-DOS. So I always enjoyed showing things that QL can do. In fact, I've had people say that the reason they like my channel is because I do Syncler stuff and also QL stuff, specifically because there's enough Spectrum and ZX81 stuff, but they also do QL stuff in the US, right? So there's plenty of Syncler stuff in Europe, but the fact that I do it in the US is kind of unique because there's not many QL users in the US, and even not that many Syncler users in the US. And so, but that's kind of what I had. I started with the ZX81, actually, not the Time 61000. And I apologize to my UK viewers that I don't say ZX. But I've explained that on my channel before the World Wide Web. That's what I grew up with. Bought it from New Hampshire, Sinclair Research in New Hampshire, and as an American, without knowing how it was said in the UK for my childhood, I saw it as a ZX81, even though it's properly said ZX81. Didn't have a Spectrum. I had the ZX81 for many years, and then in the late 80s, I got a QL. And in between that, when I was in school, I actually also, my roommates had, one of them had an Amiga 1000. So I got to play with that for a year. And that was beautiful. What a beautiful machine that was. Couldn't afford it, so I got a QL for $99 from Sharps in Mechanicsville, Virginia, and got a compiler and started programming on it, and really learned so much on that machine. And then a few years later, in the early 92 maybe, so after 4 years of having the QL, I got a Macintosh finally, and so that's kind of what my channel's about, right? It covers all the computers that I had, the Sinclair ones, even the Z88, which I got sometime in the 90s, the pocket computer for TRS-80, and then the Model 3, which I'd never had, but it was, I think one of the first computers I played with was the TRS-80 Model 1. And as I said before in my channel, that Model 3 might have been sitting on the shelf, and I might have brushed by it when I was a young, 12-year-old kid. And so whatever, I figured young teenager or 12, I figured how old I was when I used to go in that Radio Shack. But yeah, so my channel is about nostalgia, and I really enjoyed it. In any case, so I was doing weekly videos, featured videos for 20 through 21, and then 21, the U.S. said the pandemic's over, and it wasn't, so we got into the early part of 22, and then it slowly started changing, and things started opening up again. And I also changed my channel slightly during that time. I started to just do 3 featured videos a month and added this 5-minute, what I call quick clip. And so that's what I've been sort of doing, is 3 featured videos. And if there's, the 4th one would be a quick clip. And if there's 5 Saturdays, I would do 2 quick clips. And there occasionally I would just do 2 features and 2 quick clips if I was just too busy. But for the most part, I stuck to this weekly schedule. And I kind of looked at the, how much time I spent on that. And it takes me, so when I say a day, I mean after work. It takes me like an evening. It takes me a day to film. Because sometimes, things don't go right and I have to start refilming again. And then I don't really feel like, editing right after I film. So another evening I go edit. And that usually takes the longest. And when I'm doing a video every week, I also need some time for staging, because if I'm working on something, I usually work on a whole bunch of things. And I need to then take, some time to sort of gather my, not just my thoughts, but also the tools I need. So that usually takes another day. So it's usually 3 evenings of my hobby to do a video. And if I do 3 featured ones, that's 9 days. And then if I do a quick clip or 2, that's another day. That's 10 days. That's a third of the month. And, so it turns out, that's a lot of time. And now with things opening up and, getting back to doing other social activities, it's just taken up a lot of my time. And so what my plan is to shift from doing weekly videos to doing every other week. And the plan is to do 1 featured video and 1, either quick clip, on normal month. And then there's like 4 hashtag events. There's Septandy, December, Marcintosh, and Amiga. I probably will do 2 featured videos instead. And of course there's going to be the occasional, if that coincides with 5 Saturdays, I'll probably just throw in a quick clip. Or if I have, on a regular month, if I have 5 Saturdays, I might do a featured video and 2 quick clips. It really depends on how the alternating works. But if I look at that time requirement, just on, let's say on the non-hashtag events, 1 featured video, again, an evening to film and an evening to edit. And then I don't really need staging because I'll just be focusing the whole month on that topic. So that's 2 days. And then in a quick clip, I can probably, since I don't have to do these right back to back, when I am ready to edit my video, I can probably also do the quick clip. And so really I can get this down to about 2 days a week. And then for the 4 month that I'm doing, the hashtag events, I can get down to, probably 4 or maybe 5 days. I'll probably have to do a little bit of staging. So it's probably going to be 5 days, for that month. And so if you average that out over an entire year, 8 at 2, 4 at 5. It's really about three days in all for doing a month to do videos for the year. And that is 10%. So that I think that's easier to handle than having to do 10 days. And so that's the plan. I'm going to be moving forward with that starting literally in July. And so instead of every 7 days now, it'll be coming out every 14 days. And my CDO is going to keep me on that schedule. Like I was thinking, well, maybe I'll do 1 or 2 a month. Like, no, I have to kind of have this nice every other week schedule. So I think that'll work. The other thing I might do is invest in or learning how to do shorts. That takes a little bit of different art, although some shorts take much more time editing, putting together. For me, I would think I would just kind of put my camera on a screen and say, hey, here's what I'm working on. Look, doesn't this look cool? Come check my video out at the end of the month or next week or whatever, and I'll post that. That would take no time and would require little time editing. So I think I might also start including shorts, or at least investigate a little bit on how that would work and integrate that. But yeah, so that's kind of where I am on my 5th year anniversary, is kind of looking back on what I did. I've had fun, but also looking forward to freeing up my time a bit and kind of focusing on some fun featured videos, but not sort of feeling like I'm having to crank out one every week and getting to, one feature, one a month, and then maybe a secondary quick clip one, or if I feel so inclined because of a hashtag event, or maybe even a non-hashtag event, I have the time and I'm doing something cool, maybe there'll be 2 featured videos, but it's going to be basically every other week. And hopefully, my viewers will still enjoy the videos that I'm putting out. And my channel can continue to grow. I'm excited to get to 2,000 eventually, and we'll see where that goes. All right. So that's really what I wanted to share with you today on my 5-year anniversary. Give me some feedback if you like, and I always appreciate my viewers. Thanks for having stuck with me for 5 years, and I guess I'll see you soon. Now I have a slightly different meeting that it'll be in 2 weeks. All right. So see you soon.